And we're live, episode 5.
And we are in episode 5 episodes strong, baby.
5 episodes
Let's go.
strong. Let's
This is
go.
interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, today's topic is actually, it's pretty chill. I like this person. This person's like accomplished a lot, like 6 stand-up comedies.
Oh
One
man.
period of time he had his own show, which I have to say was one of the funniest show I've ever watched. A lot of the stuff he says in like a lot of the stuff I reference as a day-to-day thing is purely from those show. And like, yeah, we are celebrating
Adam
Dave
Sandler?
Chappelle.
Oh, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler had some great movies, some great hits, some great stand-up specials, I'll say. But but all right. Dave Chappelle is also one of the greatest comics. Let's say out there. And his show's so great.
He is.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, what I like about his comedy is that he's super, like, he's very real when he talks about his stuff. Like, he doesn't have to twist and turn. Like, you can tell that this is like the Dave Chappelle you're getting in his stand-up comedies is the Dave Chappelle you're probably getting, you know, outside of the TV world and all that stuff.
As opposed to
So, like, you
what,
can,
like people like in genuine comics, like comics that aren't
yeah,
themselves.
like if you think about it, the like, let's be real, Kevin Hart isn't really the way like he is when he's doing his own day-to-day thing. Like, his kind of jokes are funny, don't get me wrong, I enjoy
Yeah,
Kevin Hart's shows, but like
yeah,
Dave Chappelle is just like on another level. Like, all stand-up comedians look up to Dave Chappelle when, like, all his stuff, everything he does is great. But yeah,
as you
Dave
were
Chappelle.
saying, yeah, I think Dave Chappelle's himself. He's like himself. Like as you're saying, Kevin Hart's like a character of himself. Or we get a lot of
True.
comedians that are just characters. Bill Burr's a character of himself, and they all these comedians a lot of time they just exaggerate different versions of themselves to be funny. Versus what Dave Chappelle did, which is what's so great, is that he made himself what's funny. He made himself his brand of comedy, and then yeah, and all he can do
Yeah,
whatever
like,
he
yeah,
wants,
that's
and he can do whatever he wants because as long as he is himself, which is what he will do if he is himself, he'll people
he'll
watch it.
always be funny, I
It'll
guess.
always be funny. Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that doesn't negate the fact that he had some controversial issues that happened to him in the past.
excuse
Whether
me.
it was, what do you mean,
What are you talking about?
dude? There's the when he had to go to South Africa
That's a
in the
con.
middle of shooting. Now here's where the
He
controversy
went on
comes in.
vacation. He went on
No,
vacation,
no,
and
it was more of a rehabilitation kind of thing. Like, a lot of the stress from filming Dave Chappelle the show was like it was just building up on him. And before season 3, around like the 25th of, or no, the 31st of May, if I am, yeah, 31st of May, he literally was like, he dropped a $50 million deal with Comedy Central and was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is getting way too much. And yeah, he ended up leaving. He ended up like leaving, going to South Africa just to calm. Up to what he said was he wanted to calm down his ego.
oh, so he left because
So,
of his ego. Is that why he went to like
well, it was his
defend
ego
himself?
and the stress.
The stress.
Pretty much ego and stress. He didn't want it to all, like, make him do regrettable actions, even though, like, there are some instances where he leaves the stage, or like, he just ignores hecklers and he's like, you know what, yeah, like, there was that one town he went to, uh I forgot what it was called, so I think it starts with the letter H. And basically he was just like, yeah, I ain't going to that town anymore because of the heckler here. Let me find the exact. I read about this. I was like, you know what? Yeah, damn. Like,
Yeah.
it was
Well,
good.
Dave.
What do you know
Well, Dave
about him? While
Chappelle.
I
Yeah.
just find.
Well, Dave Chappelle. For people who don't know anything about him, he's a stand-up comedian, right? Is what he's most known for, and an actor. He has his own show. He produces his own show, the Chappelle Show. Um, and he made 2 seasons of his show, and then disappeared for 12. He went to Africa for 12 years, and then now he came back. He dropped a couple more stand-up specials, and yeah, and he brought his show back too. That's what I know
Found
about
it.
him. Yes.
Yeah, that's you're pretty much right about this. But today, I think we're going to discuss mainly his achievements and some of the controversies. The town I was talking about was Hartford.
Okay.
Now you're in the United States, so I think you might
That
or
sounds
might
like a
not know
place.
where that.
Yes, sure. Connecticut, maybe. I don't know. Yes.
But but yeah, no. Yeah, well, basically there was like a white person who was basically referring to one of his. Do you know the episode he did that was about the blind black
Oh,
character that thought he was white and joined like
yes.
the racist supremacist group in America?
Hmm. So yeah. So
So basically, they were saying the same, and he got angry and he was like, you know what, I'm out, and he left. And in
wait.
an interview later, when they
Say that again. Explain what happened. It was because of that sketch. So there's a sketch where he plays um uh a rate what is it? What does he
a,
play? He's
a
yeah.
black man that's racist towards black people, and
Okay.
he's blind, so he never knew the black person that he was portraying never knew that he was black.
Yes. And then he goes
So
to white, and then he goes to KKK rallies and is a white supremacist.
pretty much, yeah.
And the twist is that he's a black man trying to do that. Yes.
Exactly, which is like I have to say, it's the
It's
funniest
the funniest
show.
sketch.
Like
Yes.
that alone is the funniest sketch he's ever done. Like I like I reference a lot of the stuff that he says in that sketch in real life because it's just so funny. Uh, so another person in his show mentioned like referenced the same part, the same. If you go on YouTube, you can type that here. Let me send it to you by Facebook. Check your text. Uh, Basically, he said the same thing to him, and he got upset, which was like,
What are you saying? What are you talking about? Who said who to what? Yes. All right. So Dave Chappelle, he has this show. He does a bunch of comedy, right? And he's a hilarious guy. I
hello.
think yes, I think Chappelle's show is one of the highest critically and commercially acclaimed shows
Okay, sorry.
ever. That's on Comedy Central right now. If you want to watch an episode as well.
Yeah, I like that because I have internet connectivity issues, so I apologize to all our viewers in advance.
Yes.
Uh, your question was exactly what happened. So there was a
Yes.
white member of the audience, a white person in Hartford, who
Yes.
basically referenced that line where he says, "I can't understand you. Go back to your country."
Yes.
And he just got upset and he left the show. And he, surprisingly enough, for a really long time, he never went back to Hartford. And
Yeah.
every time, like, yeah, and every time they ask him about it, he always says, like, you know, F Hartford, I don't like it, you know. And when they
Yes.
asked him what was the issue with that guy, he basically said white alcoholic, which to me explains
That's
everything, you
fair.
know.
Yes. Yeah.
But like, yeah. So and then he ended up like doing a surprise show over there without anyone knowing, which was like huge
Yeah.
for a person who supposedly hated that town. But that was after years of like. So I have to say, I watched around 4 out of 6 or 7 of the stand-up comedy shows that he's done, mainly
Yes.
the ones that are out on Netflix, and like
What do you
it's
think?
it's amazing.
Yeah.
I Here's what I think. Especially now in the news, you know what's going on in the states. Like
Yes.
his jokes are mainly around these kinds of issues.
What do
So
you, what?
he
Yes.
laughs about them, which is, you
What are
know,
you What are you
it's
referring
fine.
to? What are you what
The
specific are you referring to?
the killing of George Floyd in Minnesota.
Yes. Just to
Which happened
clarify,
at least
you're saying
family.
he makes jokes about that, or what
No, no,
are
no.
you
About
trying to say?
police brutality and racism towards the black people in general.
All right. Yes.
So
Hmm.
it's an issue obviously in the United States, but as a comedian he has been criticized over making fun of the whole issue. But then again, he's not making fun of the issue itself, he's making fun of his situations dealing with these issues with his own experience.
Yes.
So yeah, he has been criticized over that. But like again, if you choose to joke around these stuff, like jokes aren't supposed to be like restricted, you know what I mean? Like you should
No
have the
jokes.
right to like
Joke about
joke about
what?
whatever you want.
Whatever you want. You have the right to joke about
Yeah, I
anything
mean
you want.
like that's my opinion.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but to me,
No, that's yeah,
I'll
that's
tell
fair.
you why.
Hmm.
Not everyone's humor is the same. This is what we're
Yes.
taught like from a very young age. Like what I find funny, you might find repulsive or like deeply disturbing or whatever, and
Sure.
vice versa is also true. So to be criticized over the things you joke and your like material, like I don't think it's really appropriate. I mean,
Yes.
jokes aren't meant to be taken serious. That's the whole term, jokes. That's what jokes are, you know. That's what his profession is.
Well, yes,
So he has been criticized over that, and
but
he
if you're
does
making
talk a lot
jokes,
about racial issues in America.
yes, if you're making jokes about at people's expense, if you're making a joke that's an insult, like a half insult, half joke, like Ali's as dumbass, his head is too big, it won't fit through the door. How about that, or something like that? That's not a funny joke per se, but it's like you laughed. Look at that.
Okay,
So it's
I mean,
like
no, that's not a joke anymore. That's more. I mean, like that's more of a roast. That's not a joke,
that
though.
is a roast.
You know?
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's like
So that's
but it's a joke. A roast, well, a roast is a joke, right? Because
yeah, but it's like
yes,
in a criticizing format, more of a criticizing format.
all right,
So,
yes.
but with him, it's more of a like it's his experiences and that's what makes it funny. You know,
That
is
it's
that he
about his
respects
experiences.
the
Yes.
issue that's
Hmm.
yeah. So he respects the issues enough to not touch on them and not like make fun of other people's experience.
Yes.
So he keeps his experience
Yeah.
as the main joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. What's your opinion on the whole stand-up comedy and like jokes per se?
Jokes. Well, no. What I think what he does in particular is very it's he relates it on his own experience, which is why it works so well, and people can connect to him because it's talking about himself and his experiences. I understand there is a bunch of controversy about the things he said. Mostly lines about, I don't think it was about race. I think it was just more like homophobia, or that was what people are trying to get him for, like his transsexual jokes, whatnot. Um, my personal view on it, I don't know. It's a complicated subject, and
Uh,
yes,
look, here's my opinion. I think he stopped joking about all this stuff about the whole homophobic issues. So that's pure. Like you can't judge people on what they say in the past, especially at a time when it was completely normal. Like
that
all
is true.
comedians were doing it, you know, even
Yes.
in shows. And
Hmm.
so judging him on the past is like it's as if I'm judging you off of what you did when you were a kid.
Yes.
You know, like you
Okay.
were a kid. It was at the time what you did was normal. You know. But
Yes.
now that you're all grown up, and now that times have changed, now that the whole like way of how people think is completely different. So if he does it now, okay, criticize him, that's fine.
Yes.
But criticizing him over what he said in the past when it was a completely normal thing and every Tom, Dick, and Harry were doing it, like
Yes.
I think that's appropriate, let alone fair, you
Yes.
know?
Well, that was the whole thing with Kevin Hart leaving the Oscars a couple years back. I don't
Oh
know if you.
yeah, I remember
Yes,
that.
yes. And Kevin Hart took a
Yeah.
stand. He was like, well, I'm not gonna say sorry for a tweet I made a couple years
And
back.
he shouldn't.
And that's what he did. And then the Oscars haven't had a host since. They haven't had a host since, because who can
I
you
mean,
find that doesn't have something in their background somewhere?
I
Yes.
mean, it's not just that. Like I'll admit it, I said these kind of stuff like in the past too, but now that it's seen as the norms to be, you know, gay or like a part of the LGBTQ community, like it's normal now. So we both put our hands up and say, you know what, if it's normal, that's fine. We won't make fun
That's
of it.
very
If take
progressive of
offense
you.
to it,
Yeah.
that's cool, you know. But
Yes.
like, if we're gonna go about what we said in the past, then I'm pretty sure every person, especially every people watching these videos, would, be we'd be able to like twist and turn and portray things about you, and there would be evidence to prove it.
Yes.
Now, do I think Kevin Hart do I think he did the right thing? Yeah, he shouldn't have apologized. It's something that was said in the past, back when this kind of stuff was very normal to say. You know,
All right.
was it right? Agree to disagree. That's on you. But we still judge it. Like that's where I. But yeah, no, like his jokes about transsexual people. Yeah, I remember them, and I remember like because I watched the shows a lot. So now we'd be lying to ourselves if we say we didn't find it funny back in the days. Some people find it funny to this day, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think we should. I don't think he should be judged on what he said in the past. And yeah, did you hear about the rumors that came up from when he went to South Africa?
What are you talking
Like
about?
there were rumors that came up basically saying he was on like hardcore drugs and he was an addict. So he went
Oh,
to like this because there's a huge rehabilitation center in South Africa, and people just connected the dots wherever they found fit, and they said, yeah, he was a major drug addict and he did this and he did that. So
is that true?
that
Is it?
yeah, no, that was true, and he even addressed it on one of the talk
Oh, so it is
shows
true. It's not
that
just a
he
rumor. He
went
was. Mhm.
to.
That was
Yeah,
part of the reason. That was part of the reason why he left
no,
to
no, no, he
Africa.
wasn't. No,
Oh.
no, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't.
Clarify.
It wasn't.
Yes.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. I
Clarify.
was saying he addressed that those were false.
Oh.
Those were false
Oh,
allegations.
they're
He addressed
false
that those.
allegations.
Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, no, no, no. Dave Chappelle did not do drugs, ladies and gentlemen. I could
I,
very much say that.
I,
According to what he said, he did not. So don't take it wrong. But there were people, especially critics, that were basically saying he was when he wasn't, and that's the reason he went to South Africa. But it was not the reason, you know,
yes.
which is terrifying. But I mean, I don't know. Would you do the same?
Fake
Would you
news.
go
What?
like
Spread
somewhere?
rumors? Go somewhere. Yeah. Vacation. Why
Yeah,
not? I feel like
not vacation per se. Like if you feel like things get way too much, would you go far away and like
disconnect. Go
just
back to Lebanon. Yes. Yeah, that'd be that'd be great. Yeah. I think it's we're all so connected. We're getting even more connected to computers, online, the web, Zoom, right? And it's like it's very hard to pull the plug completely and like leave for 1 year, 2 years, let alone 12 years. That guy did it for 12 years, right? But I think, yeah, I would definitely. I mean, it's very healthy. I've done it before where I have left social media for a bit, and I mean, I can't afford to leave, to Africa and spend a couple of years there. That guy had millions of dollars before he could afford to go on vacation for 12 years,
yes,
right? Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
But yeah, but in my experience, I'll say I do find that relief when I do like distance myself from social media, my phone. When I'm more involved with the things I am doing, that's when I really do feel a little bit of disconnect. And I feel like we all grow up knowing our phones, knowing social media, knowing our interconnectivity. But in the past, right, that wasn't really a thing. You'd have a lot more time to be by yourself, a lot more time to form your own thoughts and opinions before seeing them on the news or on Facebook or on Instagram. And so, yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends are always like, yeah, I'm quitting, I'm quitting in
I'm
social
quitting social
media.
media, and then you see them back in like a week or
Yes,
two.
and they have to make a post about it. They're like, that's one of the funniest things. They're like, I'm quitting
Oh
social
man,
media as they post it on social media, right? As opposed to just like quitting social media. That's just a little commentary, but it's
yeah, but
yes, yeah,
no, I completely understand. Like I would do the same thing, to be honest. If
and
I felt like things were getting too much, I just completely detox from all of this and just
well,
take a
it is
step
it is
back.
detoxing. It is detoxing because if you're doing it, well, if you're doing anything every day for hours in the same schedule, right? You wake up in the morning, you check your phone, check your phone throughout the day, you check your phone at night, right? And then you're
Yeah,
doing that every single day for months and months and months. Well, then that's like an addiction, right? As if you want to take it like that, because it is an addiction.
I mean, yeah,
And
no. You can be addicted to your phones. It's
yes,
something like completely like it can
yeah,
happen, you know?
yeah, and it is not
So
so. Yeah, it is not easy for someone like even for Dave Chappelle to leave for 12 years, right? That is kind of brave of him to do something like that, because it is not
it
easy to disconnect like the way he did.
especially to maintain your like fame and status in Hollywood, for you to
Yes,
disappear completely and just incognito for 12 years and then have a strong comeback.
yes,
He
that was
came back,
brilliant.
he did another show, he signed with Netflix, and like just brought back all the millions he wasted, traveling and whatever in like
Yes,
one show. So the comeback was very real for Dave
yes,
Chappelle. And his show, I watched it. It was called Equanimity or something like that.
yeah.
It was a hard word. Like I forgot what it was called,
That's
but
great.
it
Yeah.
was a good show.
Hmm.
It was a good show. Like I watched it twice, I think, or three times now. It was a really good show.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So
He made it.
another information about Dave Chappelle is apparently, like I found out recently, is he's Muslim.
Really? Is that true?
He's a Muslim. Yeah,
All
no,
right.
that's completely true. In fact, his three kids, he named them Ibrahim and here let me just make sure not to mess the names up because so he had three kids, right? He had two sons and a daughter, and he called his daughter Sana'a or Sana'a as he would pronounce it, and his son Sulaiman and Ibrahim.
Really? All right.
Yeah,
Chappelle.
which is
Chappelle.
pretty cool.
That's great.
Ibrahim
Yeah.
Chappelle.
Yes.
Uh, which is it's pretty cool, even
That's
though
pretty cool.
he does like he does recreational like marijuana. It's like he's very open about doing it,
And
which
he
I
said he,
find
he
it's
well he
this.
converted. He converted in '98. I'm looking at it. He converted to
Yeah,
Islam in '98. Yeah.
yeah,
Um.
but there was one thing he said which was really good. Like I appreciated the fact that he said that. He said the reason he's not too open with his religion is basically because he doesn't want his flaws and his actions to come right
Reflect.
back to the yeah,
Yeah.
to like reflect on the, in his words, beautiful religion,
Hmm.
which I find is like I can respect that so hard. Like I can, unlike DJ Khaled, who's like all praise be to Allah, and he always says that, and then he goes the
Yes.
rock, the only way, it's the rock. Like I've never like fair
Yeah.
play to him.
Yeah.
Like
Good for
okay,
him.
you
Yes.
said you were this, but you said you didn't want it to reflect, so that's why you weren't open about it. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool. He's an
Yeah.
interesting character. I hope one day I get to meet him. Like
Yes.
he's one of my top comedians of all
Chappelle.
time.
Well, comparing,
Yeah,
it's
bro.
funny you compared Chappelle to DJ Khaled. I feel like they're two complete opposites in the spectrum of celebrity. Where like,
They're all celebrities. They're all in
well,
the
they're all
entertainment
celebrities,
business.
yeah, but like Chappelle's like very grounded. He's himself, right? He's like
Yes,
very
that's true.
cautious, right? He turned down, a lot of money to like for
Yeah.
his own like for artistic integrity versus like um DJ Khaled's like, yes, let's make this huge commercial
That's
success and
true.
then
That
make a lot of
that is very
money
true.
and then flex it
That's
and then get a designer baby and then he coded his own baby. I feel like Dave Chappelle could never biogenetically create his own kid versus
engineer. Yeah, his
yes, but versus DJ Khaled's the person who would do something like that.
yeah.
Father of a
I
son.
think I think it's because his foundation and morals and his codes, like he sticks to them. He values them over anything, which you
Yes.
can see with a lot of entertainment and like these celebrities. They're okay, they're famous, they have all this money, but their morals and their rules, their self rules, they stick to them like religiously,
Yeah.
which I can respect if you have the ability to do that, because with a lot of people, money just changes, like can change a person very easily.
Yeah.
So for them to not
Yes.
change, like you can look at his show from when he was performing at the Apollo Theater,
Yeah.
like back in 98, 99, and you look at his shows now, like the only difference you can tell is his confidence. It just grew out
Yeah.
of experience. That's literally the only difference you can see from when you look at him from back in the days at the Apollo Theater to now doing huge Netflix shows. Like he did not change. His style of jokes did not change. Maybe dropped a few homophobic jokes, and
Yes.
all these jokes that are considered terrible and
Taboo.
like
Yes.
very taboo and sensitive topics.
Hmm.
But you know, major respect to him. So let's see who. Which comedian do you think is like close to Dave Chappelle or is
In style.
similar in
That's
in style?
interesting. I really don't think there's anyone as genuine as himself, and I don't think there can be anyone like, because there's only one Dave Chappelle, and his whole brand of humor is Dave Chappelle. You can tell
Yeah,
me if you're asking me like about a bunch of angry comedians, right? I'll tell you like Louis Black, right, or whatever, Bill Burr or George Carlin, right? You have that like typecast, or you have like whatever, the smart comedian or the offensive comedian or like a prop comedian. But Dave Chappelle is his own genre of comedy. If you have
that's
a
true.
split like that, because, um, yeah,
I
he's just
think I think
himself.
I who
Mhm.
I think I'd say Gabriel Iglesias because he
Oh
also talks
yes,
a lot about his he talks a lot
yeah.
about his experience and pokes fun of his own experience.
Uh,
So
Puffy, is that what's his
fluffy,
Fluffy? All right,
fluffy, yeah,
yeah.
bro.
I've
Like
seen his specials.
I
Yeah,
have
he's a funny guy.
one of my like closest best friend is his biggest fan.
Oh yeah,
You know who you are. You're probably watching this. He really likes Gabriel Iglesias. Like he has like I think he has a few pop figures of him, and like he went to this show, and yeah, no. But I'd say that Gabriel Iglesias would be a good contender for the closest to Dave Chappelle in style,
all right.
because if you think about it, both of them talk about their experiences. Dave talks about the racism that he deals with be it police or any of that stuff. Uh, Gabriel Iglesias does the same too, him being Hispanic. So I don't know, is
Yeah.
that a word I'm allowed to use?
Yes. Yes. I'm allowed to use. Yes, you're allowed to use that word.
I don't know, because I don't know. Like in America,
Yes,
there, uh,
you're
but
fine
yeah,
using
like
that word.
him being, all
Yes.
right, cool, that's cool. So they both talk about their experiences in a funny manner,
Yes.
which I can respect majorly. The fact that you can make people laugh at your own pain, which is a Kevin Hart title, laugh at my
Yes.
pain.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. There was a time, by the way, Kevin Hart was like this. He would just talk about his experiences
Yeah.
being a short
And yeah. Yes.
person, or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes. Yeah.
there
And he
was
still
there's a
does it.
lot of like,
Hmm. He still does it,
no,
but now he's more like
nowadays,
outrage, like his whole brand of humor. I feel like even Gabriel Iglesias plays that. He has a character, Fluffy, right? That's his whole.
yeah,
Dave
that's his
Chappelle doesn't have
shtick.
a. Yeah, Dave Chappelle doesn't have that. I mean, he has his characters, but he's not like, he doesn't have like alter identity maybe that he
I
uses
see.
for stand up, like, you know what I mean, like Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, that's completely true. I'm with you on that. But I don't think like we could say that yes about Kevin Hart, but with Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy is more of a nickname or a
All right.
stage name.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's still his stories. It's just he doesn't use his name. He likes to call himself Fluffy. I'm
Yeah.
not fat. I'm fluffy, and all that stuff. Like Gabriel Iglesias is really good,
Yeah.
but Dave Chappelle is just on another level when it comes to comedy because like the comedy is just too genuine for it to be like, because some stand-up comics they tend to twist their stories or just over exaggerate their reactions, or like Kevin Hart or all the others, Bill Burr and all of them, they tend to like over exaggerate or say things that doesn't happen. With
Dave Chappelle and
Dave
Gabriel
Chappelle,
Iglesias.
man,
Yes. Yes. The name of this freaking podcast. We've been
the
talking about
name
it for
of
the past
the
40 minutes. Yes. Dave
god damn it.
Chappelle, a great
But
comedian.
the,
Check him out. You
a
got to
great
definitely check
comedian.
him out. If you haven't checked him out
Oh
yet,
yeah, dude.
and definitely, he's, what I love about him the most is that he talks about all these dark topics, and but he's not like ranting about them. He's not really complaining about them. He's taking it and putting his own take on it, and making you laugh about it, and making you feel joy out of it, these darker experiences. So yeah, so
Just
he talks about very real topics, but at the same time is very genuine and uplifting about it. And I think that's the formula that
yep.
was able to give him his platform and his success. Yeah.
That's true. That's very true.
Hmm.
Yeah, if we think about it, do we have a lot of stand-up, like Arabic stand-up comedians? We don't. I don't think we do. Like, they're
Nimr
either
Abu
unknown
Nassar.
or.
Shout out to Nimr Abu Nassar. He's a pretty big comedian. Yeah, I've seen him. He's Lebanese. He's a Lebanese comedian.
I heard that name before.
Yes, then there you go. Yeah, there are Arab
That's where.
stand-ups. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where.
yes, there are Arab stand-ups, and
Yeah, no, that's
Nimr's also like his shtick is about being a Lebanese American, and he talks about all that stuff as well. Yes,
that's true.
but
That's true. But in terms of comedy, I think there should be more like should be more of a thing in our parts of the world as well,
yeah,
because like laughter is the best medicine,
that's true.
and like take it from a medical school student, laughter can sometimes be the best medicine.
This is
And
true.
it's instead of just sitting all day and just like worrying and contemplating about our day-to-day issues and our, like the world that's going around us, it's nice to have someone to break the ice by making a few jokes and like just making light of the whole situation, just
Yeah,
to lessen the whole like
burden of
situation, the
life.
whole
Yeah,
bad
like
situation. Yeah,
life is chaos, and you gotta find
it
something
is.
that makes you like enjoy it. Really, that's what we were talking about before. It's like having activities that you enjoy, right? Doing, and watching the
Yeah,
news all day might be something you don't enjoy doing, but you are doing it. I don't know why you're doing it if you're not,
that's
if you don't. Really, I mean, I guess there are things other than enjoying like work. You have to do it if you don't enjoy it. But it's like if
it's
you
true.
in your spare time, right? If you're gonna do something, put something positive in there instead of something negative in there, and yeah, try to watch content that makes you happier, enjoy life more, uplifting or inspired, like Dave Chappelle. Yeah, hilarious guy. New
Yeah,
specials, all the specials out on Netflix. Everyone's got Netflix or Comedy Central. It's free. You can watch the Chappelle show. Yeah.
it is. It is. So how many, like, what awards did he get? I think he got like the Emmy awards like a bunch of times, and he got like,
Emmys. What else? He's
yeah.
got some big awards. Yeah.
Let me think. He was nominated like 3 times for the Emmys for the
Well,
Chappelle
he won.
Show, Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle for What It's Worth, and Saturday Night Live. He won for Saturday Night Live,
Yes.
and he won for Dave Chappelle Equanimity, which was the show I was talking about. It was really good,
Hmm.
you know. He won Outstanding Guest Actor in Comedy Series and Outstanding Variety Special, pre-recorded. That's from the Emmys, and the Grammy. He won 2 out of the 3 for what he was nominated. So he was nominated for Outstanding Cast in a Modern Picture,
Hmm.
which was in the nominated work of A Star Is Born. He didn't win it, but he did win Dave Chappelle, The Age and the Deep State of Texas. He won Equanimity and The Bird Revelation for Best Comedy Album. So that's 2 Grammys, 2 Emmys, and nominated for a bunch. So he's very,
And
very like,
I'll say the most like one of the greatest accolades he's gotten. He got this last year was the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. He got this in 2019,
oh yeah, the
and
Mark Twain Prize.
yeah,
Yes.
just that puts him like it's just that's just an award that happens once a year, and they just pick the best comedians. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg, Richard Pryor, Steve Martin, Billy Crystal, right? And now after he though, all these comedians I named have been building up for years and years and years, and haven't really stopped really, like Dave Chappelle did. While Dave Chappelle disappeared for 12 years and came back and still won the Mark Twain Prize, he is one of the legend comedians to live.
He
Be
is.
alive.
He's
And yeah,
a
hmm
he's he's a
I haven't
walking
seen him,
legend.
but I'd love to see him. If
Dude, you
anyone,
gotta watch him.
yes, I want to see him live. I mean, it's like,
Oh,
yes.
live. He has his shows on Broadway
Oh yeah,
in
well,
New York.
that's all
Yeah,
shut
he
down.
does.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Well, I
yes.
mean, yeah, right
When we
now
can
it's
see
really not the
live,
time.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I'd love to meet him one day. Like he's one of the few people I'd love to just sit down and have a full conversation with.
yes,
Just sit and just talk, like no cameras, no nothing, just me and him. Because I feel like there's a lot I could learn from Dave Chappelle. But the number one thing I learned from Dave Chappelle, ladies and gentlemen, is being real takes you a long way.
yes. That is true.
Just being
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 authentic and being
yourself.
yourself. Yes,
It's
because if
just
you put yourself in a
very
category or in a box, what happens is that you live in that box, and you can live in
you're
that
forced
box
to compete.
for how long? For like 5 years, 10 years, right? Think about this: 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. If you're
Yep.
thinking about living, how long do you think you're gonna live, Ali?
I don't know, dude.
I That is true. Like we don't really know how long, but
Yeah,
like
I'm not
if
sure.
you're healthy and living, yeah, dude, you can live to 100 years, 150 years, right? With the current medicine we have. And so, like, if
I
you put
mean,
yourself in a box when you're 20, you're gonna have to carry the rest of your life in that box, as
that's
opposed
true.
to
Not
having,
only that, if you put yourself in a category, you're gonna have to compete with all those other stand-up comedians. You know
yeah,
what he did was he put himself in his own category, so
yeah,
he's his own competition,
yes,
which is how his success
that is
skyrockets
true.
every time.
That is
That's why
true.
whenever he has a comeback, it does much better than his old stuff.
Yes,
Why? Because when you put yourself in your own competition and you compete yourself, you just get better and better every time. Because
yeah,
that's the whole point of competing with yourself.
hmm,
But when you're competing with others, sure you get better, but your main target is to be better than your competitor. You know?
yes, no, I agree. No, that's yeah, that's a
Or-
great
yeah,
analysis of it. Yeah,
that is. I thank you
all
for
right.
telling me that that's a great analysis. Uh,
Of the situation. How about
yeah,
this? Go watch the Chappelle show. Really, go watch um his Netflix specials because they're funny. And
they are.
yeah, I hope you enjoy them. Comment, let us know if you enjoy them and you watch them. If you get
Yeah,
people to watch Chappelle show, that'd be fun. That'd be good.
yeah, that would. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, if you want my suggestions on what to watch, uh, all his Netflix specials are really good. But my favorite of all time has to be Equanimity. I have to say.
Oh
So
yeah,
you guys watch Dave Chappelle's stand-up show called Equanimity, and his latest one was really good. Sticks and Stones, I
yes,
think it's what it's called.
yes.
So
Hmm.
Sticks and Stones, Equanimity, and yeah, that's I think that's our episode for today.
There you go.
So
Yes.
before we sign out, you know what I'm gonna say? Come on, I've been saying it for 5 episodes
Oh
now.
yes. Two
Two. Oh,
cats. There
that almost
you
fell. That
go.
almost.
Two cats
So two cats coming out soon.
coming out
Summer.
soon. Yeah, summer
Come
soon.
on, man. You got to give
Blue,
us a date.
blueberry dye. I told you summer. How about that?
True. Fine. Blueberry Die. I'm in the
Yeah.
game. Eddie's in the game.
Yes,
I
that's
think
true.
that makes it worth downloading.
For sure.
If you have Android, was it?
It's out on Android.
It's out on
Uh,
Android. It will
iOS
be
will
out
be
on
out
iOS
soon. Yes.
soon.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the show for today. Thank you for joining episode 5. We will see you episode 6 and peace.
Chappelle out.